Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Morning Motivational Rant. I don't even remember the name.
Good morning.
Morning, Krista. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing? Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
Happy day to you.
I am having a shit day.
Are you? Is that why you're wearing your Darth Vader t-shirt?
Well,
You're
so
like,
I don't know. You know what? Very possibly. I all day I felt like shit, and I'm not sure why. I'm in a pissy mood and everything. Like, I don't know.
oh.
Yeah, it just
Did
happens.
you pee the bed last night?
No, I don't know. Well, yeah. So you guys know, once again, Crystal felt the need to send me something at around, what time was it? Midnight or something? No. She sent it much earlier, but I watched it around midnight, around 1 o'clock midnight. So a little while ago, there was a documentary on YouTube called Out of the Shadows. And it was very much about the Epstein and all sorts of things that were quite horrible that are going on, that are coming to light now to be very real and very horrific. So there was another one that came out, it was yesterday, and Crystal felt the need to ruin my psyche by saying, "This is so cool, you need to watch it." So, after stopping myself from blowing my own brains out,
As most videos that I send him now.
yeah, not to joke about suicide and everything, but it was very. See, one of the things. So I pride myself. I'm not a guy who's afraid of stuff. Just in general, I don't understand the idea of fear. I understand being scared or shocked, but the idea of being afraid of something, I don't. Like, I'm a big guy. There are very few things that I have to worry about. Like a bear, yeah. That's scary, but I'm like, listen, if it catches me, I'm dead. Either I get away or I die. Those are my options. So it doesn't translate the same way. Like, people are afraid of spiders. I don't like spiders. I don't like insects. But you know, I'm like, I don't like them, but I don't really care. I'm not, you know, it doesn't freak me out. However, so this
Fear is the unknown.
Yeah, well, so this is the thing is, one of the things that I see that really just, it freaks me out, is seeing burned flesh. It freaks me out. Like, so somebody who has like a big nasty scar, like, and I know I stare and I'm like, I do my best not to, because people are self-conscious about it and everything like that. So, however, in the second
Are you
part.
leading to Davey?
Yes. So,
okay.
The second part of Out of the Shadows has quite a big part where it goes on to explain there's a gentleman who was friends with Michael Jackson, possibly, like, they allude to it being actually the real Michael Jackson. It's very, very
totally is
creepy as hell. This guy was in an accident and suffered from severe burns to his whole body. It was definitely in my nightmares. There's no question about that. It was messed up.
And they're saying that it was Michael Jackson. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, no, they were saying that it was Michael Jackson because when Michael Jackson did the Pepsi commercial,
which everyone knows,
there was
and got
like
burned.
A light, yeah, and he got burnt. So his whole top, like, he was disfigured, and nobody saw him after that until, like, you know, after he was gone away for a few months and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when he came back, everyone's like, this isn't Michael Jackson. Like, nobody felt it. And then when Davey is the guy
Dave.
Apparently, Dave. Apparently, he met Michael Jackson when he was a kid. Is his story, but you can tell that it's not like, you can tell that it's actually Michael Jackson. The way that he talks, the way that everything about him, his eyes, everything about him,
it
totally
disturbing.
sounded like Mike Tyson telling the story.
And that's and you know what, not to ruin it for anybody, but like, the video goes into about quite a few conspiracy theories, and it's funny, like, right now, especially like
the lizard people one weirds me out.
Conspiracy theories. Oh, which one?
The lizard people one.
Oh yeah, lizard people.
Like with the eyes. That's one I'm like, okay, people. I don't know about that. I don't know.
There's
I feel it, but.
Yeah, it's and that's the thing is, right now is a weird time for conspiracy theories, because there's, number one, there's always been so many, okay? But on top of that, there's I'm gonna change my lighting. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm
No
just gonna
problem.
do that. Ooh, now it's very romantic.
That looks so cool. Your Darth Vader looks so cool. It came right up.
Exactly. Dun, dun, no. So yeah, so there's all these conspiracy theories are coming to light to be actually true, which is a crazy time to be alive for everything, right? Like it's just ludicrous. Mm-hmm. But what they go on to say is like there was apparently a guy, and we talked about this, was Mike Tyson.
Yep.
A guy who said he was Mike Tyson's manager brought a girl to a house to presumably meet Mike Tyson, and this Mike Tyson proceeded to I believe it was
have
to
fun with
assault
her
her
without her willingness.
Yeah. So let's call that what it is. And as soon as the real Mike Tyson found out about this, he sent pictures of him at an event in Florida, which is other side of the country. Couldn't have been there. It's impossible. And then they show a picture of the guy who got arrested. And doesn't he look exactly like Mike Tyson? Right down to the tattoo. He has the full tattoo.
Everything.
And because what they were going on about was about people being cloned and all this other stuff. And you're saying,
oh, what do you think about that? Do you think you're cloned? Because you're different, right? And they say it's people that like stand out. And I totally, now that they say it, I'm cloned. I gotta be, right?
Well, see, I don't know.
I'm the fucked up version of it, though. They fucked up along the way. I don't know who I was, but
that's the thing is what they say is to get to a certain level that you would have to go through the cloning process.
Yeah.
Can you? Yeah. I'm hearing me through my headphones. Are you okay on that side?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is if you want to get to that level, you have to have been cloned, and then they control you with a microchip and so on and so forth. But then they give all these examples of like prominent politicians or world leaders kind of freezing up and just kind of like just looking at the camera. And and the funny thing is, like, so I've been on like sets and stuff like that. Not often, obviously, because I'm a loser. But every so often, when I do, and
he just hasn't been discovered.
Well, exactly, right? So when people are trying to adjust things, like I just kind of freeze there, and they're like, "Okay, so that's the position you're supposed to be in." But they're like, "Okay, we're gonna adjust this." So I'm like, you know, and I'm like, and they show pictures of guys like coaches who are standing there, and people are adjusting stuff, and the worst part is they're adjusting like here where you can't really see what's going on, and then they're in the back of their head, and the person's just standing there going,
yeah. Oh my God, that one was weird. That was just weird. And then
super creepy.
And then I saw something in the paper and it was going through my YouTube like subscribe videos anyways, and it was one by BBC. And they were showing, like the Broadcasting Canada Broadcasting Network or whatever, right?
British Broadcasting Channel,
that one. So they were showing this image, and it was this lady sitting with supposedly like her son was laying on like a lawn chair, and he was on a white lawn chair, and they were showing him, and he didn't look real.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be this lady with her arm around her son. The son didn't look real. Like, it looked like he was photoshopped. Like, his face was photoshopped. Like, it looked fucked up.
See, and
like, it looked really weird.
A little while ago, so there's two shows that are on Prime. One is called Hunters with Al Pacino, where they hunt Nazis. And another one is called The Man in High Castle, which is kind of an alternate reality of if the Nazis and the Japanese won World War II and what would have happened to the world that way. And at one point I was watching that, I was kind of like, you know what, I've hit my limit. I just can't watch any more Nazi propaganda stuff. I just can't. Now, what Crystal didn't know was me and my wife has started watching, so this is her first time, my second time watching Hannibal.
You were telling me about Hannibal.
Yeah, the show has just come back to Netflix, or has come to Netflix, and it's an incredible, it's a magnificent portrayal of the story and everything. However, it really messes with your head. So, that combined with that wonderful video that Crystal sent, I'm like, just before we started this podcast, I'm like, I'm gonna have some weed gummies because,
did you?
Yeah.
That a boy.
I took 125 milligrams, and I'm like, I'm gonna in about hour and a half. I'm just gonna go, and just have fun for the rest of the day. But
I love it because you would think, because people look at Dino and they probably don't think that he can handle a lot of a lot of milligrams. But what people don't understand about edibles is that edibles go through your liver system.
Yep.
So if your liver system is a little bit like easy to get to, and you're not like a huge drinker, like you don't drink every day, do you?
No, actually I haven't had it. Like I've had a couple beers was the last time the one who's editing our show came over to help edit, and that was it. I'm like, but in general, I don't. It's just, I don't, by myself, I don't drink.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I'm like that, because we have like a happy hour in the backyard with the neighbors type thing.
Sure.
But I'll have like one drink, once and I don't have one every day. But anyways, when you have edibles, it goes through your liver system. So if you don't drink a lot, or if you're not, you get wasted. You get edible wasted.
If you're not a seasoned pro for certain things, it's gonna light you on fire. That's why, like, I have a fairly high tolerance in general, but of just right, like I'm huge, right? It's just a volume thing. So,
but edibles, it doesn't matter.
No, and that's the best part about it.
Edibles are a whole new ball game.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, I need some happy thoughts and stuff like that, which because
we gotta make that brownies that you sent me.
I was gonna say,
you sent me a recipe on pot brownies.
Yeah, can you get on that, and like I will give you whatever money you want, because those so a buddy of mine sent a recipe.
I've got a bag of weed.
Yeah, well, a buddy of mine sent me a recipe for brownies, and his friend made them. And they were hands down the best brownies I ever had, and they were weed brownies. You could barely tell that they were weed brownies. There was like a hint of something, but the brownies were. And brownies are a pain in the ass because they dry out. They're not good. Like there's so many elements to them. They were hands down the best brownies I've ever had, and then I got messed up. I was like, brownies are great, they were
I've
fantastic.
made some pretty strong stuff. I made some because I had a pod shop in Tynanega 420, and I made all kinds of stuff. And then I also used to buy stuff. Like this one guy, he made a 3,000 milligram, it was 7,000 milligrams of THC and like 7 grams of magic mushrooms inside this big Valentine's Day heart. And I had got it for me and my ex-boyfriend at the time. Anyways, and we ate just like a sliver of it, got so fucked up. So I ended up selling the rest of it.
Well, that's the thing is like, I remember one guy, I was watching a video, I forget where it was, where he was a very seasoned smoker of marijuana, and for him, he tried to make edibles, and they just didn't do anything because he smoked so much weed until it was like a crazy waste of hash oil that he had used, and I'm like, okay, so
that's different because it's different on different people, because I smoke a ton of weed.
Yeah,
like I do. Like I was just lighting myself up for a bong. But anyway, so I smoke a ton of weed, and I get super high off of edibles though.
She does. You should see some of the messages I get, and I'm just like, that's not even English. I don't know.
I go down these deep conspiracy rabbit holes, and that's when I'll send Dino these fucking videos, and I'm like, guess what?
The worst part is
he'll mention.
Sorry?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, the worst part is some of them I've already seen, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's going to mess me up a lot. Let's watch it.
I just get like, and that's why, like, if he'll mention something, I forget what he mentioned the other day, like he's a mystery, and I went off on this big, like, mystery man thing.
I'm like, what the I'm like, whatever you got, I want some of that. But that is some hard stuff. Yeah. See,
he's Sherlock Holmes.
This is the funny thing is, like, especially during this time where we're in quarantine.
Whatever. Stage 2 is open now. Yay.
Who knows? But that's the thing is, like, some things are open, but not all things. And then people are like, oh, you can have people on a patio, but you can't have them inside. But you can have certain people inside, but not many people inside. So there's certain, and it's just as crazy as when the quarantine first started. They're like, everybody stay inside unless you have to go outside, and then it's okay to go outside. But you should really try and stay inside. And you're like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
It's because the riot, too. The riot fucked them up because they were on this thing until the riot happened. And they're like, oh, great. Now we just seen thousands and thousands of people grouped together.
Oh, yeah.
And the numbers didn't, like, peak. Like, they should have went through the roof. Everybody should be dead.
Well, the thing is that it takes 14 days. And then it's a question of, are those people getting tested? I'll be honest with you. I highly doubt that the people that are, that were at protests and things like that, I highly doubt that they would go and get tested.
There's one happening today. They're still freaking protesting.
Is there really?
There's one happening today. Yeah, I heard on the radio. I forget where it was, but I heard it on the Durham radio station, so it's obviously somewhere around here.
Perfect. I'll stay away.
Not from Oshawa. People in Oshawa are too lazy to protest. But not in Oshawa, but in the city, somewhere is protesting. It could be your neighborhood.
No, mine's too far. Where I live, it's just there's not like, it's quite suburban, so there's no. If you went into the streets, people will run you over because people who drive in suburbia are stupid. Like they're horrible.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like people who drive downtown know not to go to a crowd, like to stay away from people and stuff like that. Where suburbans are like, I'm driving, get out of my way, and you're like, oh, that's not good. It's not good at all.
I live in, like, the happy homemaker-ness of Oshawa, too, though. So, like, I'm closer to Whitby. Like, it's near the Civic... I can't say exactly where I live. But, you know.
Yeah, no, please don't. For the love of God, don't say where you live, yeah. But that's, you know what? Ultimately, this is the crazy part about right now is, like, you have people who are like, oh, I can't stay home anymore. It's like, you know, you chose that place to live, right? Like... Yeah. So now you don't like it? Like it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. It's very peculiar.
Dino, they might have chose that place to live. It's just like they chose that girlfriend at the beginning of this quarantine when they only had to see them after work and stuff. And now they're like, fuck, what did I do? We've all made those decisions in life, and now some people are just stuck with it. And I only preach about this because I'm stuck by myself in my grandpa's basement.
Listen, I despite what Crystal says, I am going to say that
in my own room,
property and women are not the same thing. Okay, I'm just going to be very clear on that, and I feel that there's I think a lot of people take the idea of property quite seriously, whereas relationships with significant others not as much.
Oh, they don't? No. That's terrible. That's terrible for you to say. I think people take their property a lot more seriously than they do their woman.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, no question.
That's what you're saying.
Well, that's the funny thing is like...
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, well, and that's why I just don't understand, like, we did some renovations to my in-laws' house before I moved in here, but I have a condo, it's rented out, you know, so it's like, of course I have property. It's like, I'm old and I had a good job. Like that's what I did, you know? But it's like, that's not the same for everybody, but at the same time, you're kind of just saying, going, listen, we're complaining. It's like, I don't want to stay home anymore. Okay, go outside in the backyard. Because a lot of these people who are complaining do have a backyard. They do have a balcony. They have some sort, like, they're not stuck. Nobody has chained you into your house. All they said is, hey, be respectful of other people. Wear a mask if you're going to be around other people. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah. And that's
oh my God, I went
hilarious.
out today. There was like not a lot of people wearing masks, and there was a lot of people out.
Oh no. As soon as any restrictions are lifted, even the slightest, they're like, oh, then it's gone. I don't have to do anything. And you're like, that is definitely not how this works at all.
No.
That's it. And you know what? It goes back to, remember when there was all these, still there's problems with people not taking their full run of antibiotics, right? Like they're like, well, I feel better, so I stopped taking them. They're like, no, that's not how antibiotics work. Yeah. You got to take them all, then it's done.
Yeah, if it says 10 days, take the 10 days.
Well, I have a sinus infection. So a sinus infection, if you've gotten it once, No, it's not like that. I had it when I was young. Essentially, it's if you get a really bad cold, it infects your sinuses. And then now every time if I get a cold and it really comes on hard, it becomes a sinus infection. And a sinus infection is very debilitating. Like, I will be in bed for 3 weeks. Okay? And as soon as it comes on, I need literally a ton of antibiotics, a ton of painkillers, because I'm a mess. And you're just like one giant booger. You're just like, whoa. It's horrible.
It's because you're a man, too, and men don't know how to have colds.
No, men don't know how to be sick, period. Just they're either not sick or dying. That's what men go through. It's I'm dying or I'm totally healthy, and then I'm just a piss. I'm just a jerk. But that's the thing. It's like, and people would be like, "What the hell? Why? How are you going to be off for 3 weeks?" I'm like, "Oh no, I had to go on short-term disability because I had a sinus infection." And they sent me, like, because I used to work for a bank, they sent me to their doctor. They sent me to their doctor, and their doctor's like, "Yeah, why are you here? Go home, lie down, at least for another week." And I'm like, thanks, doctor, I really appreciate that. And just left. But I'm like,
Did you used to stick stuff up your nose or something as a kid?
No.
Like, why do you get such bad sinus infection?
No, so it's just a thing.
Weird.
Once it happens once, anytime you get a severe cold, it does that.
Oh.
It's like having if you have back problems, if you've thrown your back once, you will consistently have back problems. I had a bunch of herniated discs at the same time, to the point where people are going, you shouldn't be able to walk. And I'm going, yeah, it really hurts when I walk around. They're like, yeah, you should be lying down. It took 2.5 years. It was 2.5 years that I was pretty much in bed. Like, it was brutal. That
sucks.
Oh, yeah. And then, plus I've
had family with back issues, and it's horrible, so I feel horrible.
Super difficult. And remember, it's not like you can just go, that's okay, Dino, we'll just scoop you up and move you around. That's not going to happen either. So, no. Yeah. But that's the thing, is like, right now, yeah, it's just it's such a weird time with, like, you have conspiracy theories. Like, the idea of a conspiracy theory was made, I think it was during
like
JFK.
The Earth was flat.
Well, no, the idea was to discredit people. Like, they're conspiracy theorists. It was almost like, you're a crazy communist. You know what I mean? Like, it was a slur. It was meant to discredit you.
Well, it is.
Oh, that guy's a conspiracy theorist. You know, like, that's the idea.
Yep.
But that's why it's so back and forth, where you're going, no, this doesn't make any sense. And now everything's kind of coming to light. And that's why, like, I watched Out of the Shadows 2, and I'm like, close friend of mine, that I've been on his podcast quite a while ago, he mainly deals in conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Like, that's his stuff.
That's cool.
And he also, like, he loves debunking stuff. Like, he'll get into he really does research and takes the time, and he's very open to talking about things, which is something you don't normally find in someone like that. But as soon as you sent it to me and I started watching it, I sent it to him, and he was like, he posted on Facebook, and he's like, that shit was awesome. And I'm like, he's like, did you see Dave? I'm like, dude, Dave freaked me out all night. He's like, he was totally freaking me out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, yeah, Dave. Yeah. If you, just Google Dave on Dave's interview on Larry King, and you will shit a chicken. Yeah. Like, a full.
Oh my God.
Like, it was horrible.
It was crazy. When I watched it, I'm like, oh my God, Dino, you got to see this. Like, because I was like, what is up? Because I subscribe to every weird channel.
Yeah, me too. We'll talk about that offline and compare notes on that, yeah.
Yeah, because I have, like, the Epstein files and stuff, and that's what that video was under. Because so the Epstein files started with all this case with Epstein started, like, really coming out, right? Which a lot of people are bringing it up.
Well, have you seen the documentary?
And talking about it. Oh, yeah.
On Netflix, the new one?
No, because I don't have Netflix.
So that one, I would highly advise people to be very, very careful who you watch that with and when you watch that, what state of mind you're in, because especially the first episode, it's very difficult to watch because they kind of explain what was happening and who it was happening to. It's very, very... honestly, I credit the women who came forward because it was super difficult what they had to do. It was very raw and very exposing, and those are some very, very tough women that have gone through some horrible stuff. And after the first episode, it kind of peters out. Well, it doesn't peter out, but it's not as intense. But I even like halfway through the first episode, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go for a smoke and just kind of get away from it. And that's the thing, is like you watch this stuff and people are like, yeah, this shit was from like 2003 or something when it started with him, and you're like, oh, and people are like, yay, we caught him. I'm like, you're 20 years late, you jackasses. You know?
That's what happens, because they won't listen to the women either. If there's any type of drug use, or if there's any type of anything happens after, those women get discriminated. They won't listen to their opinions. So, you know, some women won't come out. And that's why another thing, people are like, well, why don't they come out till later? Because maybe they have to clean their life up.
Not even,
or else they won't be taken seriously, you know, because they were taking advantage of vulnerable women, and you know, young girls that were in vulnerable situations, like, you know, down poor alley and stuff. So those women, who's gonna listen to them anyways? So they have to sober themselves up. They have to get themselves, you know, and that takes toll on people. You know, so
it's and that's I think one of the first things I learned about women was that they need time to process things for themselves before they can actually discuss it, which I don't I understand it, the principle of it, but I don't get it because I'm not that way. But that's just, we're different. We're different people. It's
that's
not
cool though,
right? But so for me, like, I remember a couple times, especially when Victoria and I were first dating, it was like, she's like, I'm not ready to talk. I'm like, that's okay. That's an answer. You say, listen, I need to kind of mull it over before I come at you. And I'm like, that's fine. Then I'm waiting on you to give me shit. That's fine. I'm okay with that, right? But don't go stand there walking. Like, my problem was, we were driving and she's like, ugh. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with your face? And she's like, nothing. Okay, yeah, I believe that. You know, you got any swampland to sell me? Maybe a bridge? But that's
just need a fucking second to take this in for a minute and realize how I'm gonna yell at you.
Yeah. Which I'm like, that's fine, bring it on. I'm like, I'm down to fight. Let's do it. But
well, no, and me, I'll wait a second to make sure that I'm right though, because I don't like fighting.
No,
so
nobody likes
I'll
fighting.
So I'll take a minute to make sure that I'm in the right. Like, and once I know I'm in the right, though, then it's fucking game on.
See, and the way I see it is this:
because I'm wrong a lot, though. I'm the first one to admit, though, that I'm wrong a lot, and I will take things the wrong way sometimes.
But that's a big
so
difference.
That's why I take a minute. Yeah, I know I'm wrong. Like, and I perceive things the wrong way sometimes. Like, it happens, right? And so I have to take a minute and be like, okay.
Oh yeah. Well, and I've said this to Victoria. I said, listen, you did this and this and this. I'm really angry about that. Yeah. And she'll look at me like, what? I'm like, no. I'm not saying this is logical. For some reason, you've enraged me by this action. I don't know why. I'm just having a moment here. So just can you just leave me alone for a little while? And she's like, you know, you're crazy, right? I'm like, I'm very crazy. I'm very aware that I'm crazy. But that's why
I've literally woken up and been pissed because I've had a dream, and I've woken up and literally been pissed right off at the person. And I don't get mad at shit. Like, I'm never one to go through a man's phone. I don't get like that kind of weirded out, like that stuff. I don't get like, if a man, like, I don't get jealous over shit. Like, I'm not that woman. I'm like, whatever, shit happens, you know. I shave my legs and I've never been kicked out of bed for eating cookies, so the fuck, like, you know, I don't give a shit. Like, you want to talk to another woman, go ahead. Like, you know,
no, but that's
but I want to trust a person though. I don't think about that stuff. Like, that stuff doesn't go through my mind. You know, so. But I will get mad over something, and that usually is just from something in the past that's come up, and it reminds me a little too familiar. So it's like, okay, wait a second, I've seen this behavior before. So then you start assuming that shit's happening, and it's not. And I've blown some pretty good relationships that way. I'll be honest.
No, but I think I can't. The way I think about things, especially relationship-wise, is shit happens constantly. The best of teammates won't make the best of spouses. You know, like, there's so many factors that go into things that, like, who gives a shit? Like, people ruin relationships on a daily basis. So I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's just, you move on and figure it out, right?
I personally want the person to be like my ride or die bitch.
Well,
like, you know, like,
of course.
Like, I want it to be somebody that no matter what it is, you can tell them. and they're not going to judge you. They're not going to hate you. They could be mad at you for a second or whatever, but nothing would happen, I don't think, between you that would be that, because you wouldn't hide anything from them, so there wouldn't be any cheating or anything. You wouldn't have that kind of, because when I'm in a serious relationship, because I've been in very serious, like I've been engaged 3 times, so like I've been in some serious relationships, and I've never even thought about other people that way, and I've always worked around other guys, like I've bartended and done construction and stuff, so never, but
it's, and you know what, I think that's also, something, it's a generational thing too, where there's a lot of really peculiar things that happen these days that that it's just kind of like you look at people and you're going, I would have never thought that was okay, but then you see both parties are okay and you're like, all right, like there was a time in my life where I'd be like, you guys are fucked. And I would actually say it loud enough so that they could hear me, like, where I'd be like, you two are fucked in the head, I'm out, And now, and now at the age and life stage I'm in, I just stand there going, all right, if it's good for you, I don't give a shit. It's not, and that's why I'm like, just because it's not good for me doesn't mean it's not good for you. I may think you're an idiot, but even idiots need love. I don't care.
Yeah, and that's just your personal opinion, right?
Well, what do I care? Who the fuck am I?
Exactly.
Who am I to stand there going, whoa, you know what you did? Fuck off.
And we're not here to judge anybody. We have to take care of our own damn selves. Who the fuck are we to judge anybody? Like, I don't want to ever judge people, and I don't like when people judge me, because, like, don't ever underestimate somebody, and don't ever even try to estimate somebody. Don't try to figure somebody else out. We gotta try to figure ourselves out. You know? We spend too much time worried about what everybody else is doing.
See, and I would go one step further and say things like, I think that it's not only that you shouldn't be trying to figure people out. No, if they want you to know who they are, they'll tell you. That's that simple. And you know what?
And you know what? They'll tell you if you're not faking yourself. If you're being real and you're being honest and quiet or whatever, you're just there, they'll be so honest with you. Because everyone's like, oh, you're so nice. Everybody shows me their true colors, though, really quick.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, when the idea of basing anything on a lie, it just seems so foolhardy.
It all comes out.
Well, why? What did you expect? Like, if I'm gonna lie at the beginning, I'm just not expecting it to last. It's that simple, right?
Yeah.
And that's why, like, it's little things like where I'll just be like, "Hey, don't do that. I don't like that. Just do this." Yeah. And that's why I'm just like, okay, it's fine, but if you disregard what I've told you, listen, this makes me uncomfortable, please don't do that again. And you in turn say, I'm just going to do it again. Then we don't value our relationship, and then we move on. It's that simple. And that doesn't have to be angry or anything like that. It'd be like, obviously we were at different levels, and that's totally fine. Good luck to you. And all the best. That's simple.
Like, there's going to be things, obviously, like if somebody can't just always tell you, okay, I don't like that, so you can't do that, and then the person just stops doing it, and that's the end of it. Because if it's part of the person's, whatever, then...
Well, okay.
And, like, there's just certain things, but, like...
Well, let me correct. I'm saying is that obviously you can't just stand there going, you know what, I like you better with no hair at all. What are you talking about, right? Like, it isn't... Like, I'm saying within reason, where someone's like... Hey man, you introduced me as fuckface. I'm not okay with that. I have a name, something like that. Where it's like, listen, I know you think you're being
saying fuckface. No, guys, fuckface. Don't even pretend like that's your fuck. Guys, fuckfaces. Guys, fuckfaces are always like.
That's true. Or like, it's just, whatever.
Like they're about to, like they're possessed.
Well, yeah, it's like demons come out of me. That's
something
exactly
like that.
That sounds about right. And you know what? Then we're disgusted with ourselves. We're like, oh, I'm so dirty. Every time.
I have to apply lipstick throughout this whole episode, everybody, because I decided to wear my whore makeup today. My bright pink lipstick. So So if you see me doing that, that's
I think I'm gonna every time you do it, I'm gonna
do it.
just to fuck with people. But no, it's such a weird time. Like people are going crazy about who they're hanging out with. Oh, I haven't seen these people. Yeah, and
when did you visit them?
Well, yeah, like, exactly. You know what I mean? Like I think it's so much more psychosomatic where you're like, oh. Even if there was a quarantine, I'd still stay home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because you said you can't go, it's one of those like, you can't do this.
Oh,
I'm going to do it. Yeah. Don't tell me.
I'm going to do it.
Don't tell me to quarantine.
Why there's so many Bill Cosbys and shit is because they were told that they can't do that, right? So then they go out and they do it because they think it's wrong and they want to be bad. You know how many times I've been told, tell me I'm a bad boy? You know, like they want to be told they're a bad boy. You're a bad boy. They want to be told.
Hey, just to single you guys out there who want to be called a bad boy, you're an idiot. That's my opinion. You're a dipshit, and you need to get punched in the face.
Usually they've done something really bad. Yeah, because usually they've done something super bad.
Yeah.
And they want you to tell them that they're a bad boy. There's probably something sick. There's somebody locked in their basement.
I'd rather like they go to prison and get paid for their sins. That's my, I'd rather that. I'd rather they go to jail. Because they'll have the same thing happen. They'll be told they're a bad boy too. Real bad.
In a whole different way. Real bad boy.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Real bad boy. Sorry, now I'm gonna go on with the real bad boy.
Please stop. Actually, I was gonna tell you too that one of the things I've been watching on YouTube, just kind of like I used to read a lot, and I haven't been interested in reading in quite some time. Did I hear you say
Me
ew?
too. I read retarded. No, I read a retarded amount of.
So this is the thing: is I said I like to read a lot, and I heard ew. I was like, oh, that's a weird response, but yeah. So some of H.P. Lovecraft's stories have been done like a graphic novel on YouTube.
Nice.
So, and they're voiced really well, and they're actually really cool. But that's why today I was like, oh, I'm gonna skip. I skipped that last night and instead watched Out of the Shadows 2, and I regret every second of it. It was 1 hour 17 minutes, and I regret it all.
Speaking of reading, are you like Harry Potter and shit at all? Like, do you love Harry Potter?
I do enjoy Harry Potter. I haven't read all the books.
Potter?
No,
well, the Harry Potter lady, the J.R. Rowlings or whatever her name is. Oh my God! So she's been up for some like crazy shit too, and she's a lesbian, and she's a woman, and she wrote Harry Potter, and yet she's up for some shit too. It's like they're finding the bad in everybody. They're like, you one time I saw that you didn't clap for whoever, you didn't clap for Stephen Hawkins before you must hate retards. Like, or no, he wasn't a retard. He was super smart. He was just handicapped.
Okay, so we've gone that full gamut. That was great. I'm just glad I didn't say it. That's what I'm glad I didn't say it. I'm like, yeah.
That one was good even for me.
No. But she was getting outed for transgender posts, something like that, and you're just like,
is it because it's confusing? It's just hard. It's just really, really hard. Well, I'm sorry. I get it. Life is confusing, people.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. I guess I'm just as confused about them as they are about their sexuality.
No, this is it though. It's all confusing. Nobody in the whole world has it like, I got this down pat. The guy who says I got this down pat, he doesn't. Has no idea what the hell's going on. Okay, anyone who thinks that they know what's up, they're an idiot. No. Okay.
I don't have a clue about it because I don't even know my own sexuality. I guess because like I've made out with like a dozen girls, but I don't want to be a lesbian because they gross me out.
Listen.
So,
That's so weird. Please, okay, listen. We don't have anything against the LGBT community or anything like that. But what we're saying this is a fair place to express your sexual choices, and everything's okay.
Girls gross me out. Girls in general, not lesbians. Girls. It's a vagina. It's gross.
I don't know that was better. I don't know that that's better. I'm not sure. Yeah, I definitely. Guys, once again, we're just comics, just talking about shit. Yeah. We're not. Please don't take offense to anything. Our intent is to genuine.
Left-handed.
Yeah,
unless you're left-handed. Left-handed people suck.
I am not left-handed. I am right-handed, and that's.
Yes, you want to know why? Because left-handed people write like this. Do you know who else writes like this?
No, I don't, and we're not going to find out today. That's okay. We're not going to talk about that. That is way too far. That is stuff that only goes out in Oshawa. Okay, you can't do that in Toronto.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
You know what? They didn't laugh, but they gave me good reviews when I did that in Toronto.
Oh, you are definitely going to get us in trouble. You are going to get us in trouble, and it should be fun.
I'm going to get people comfortable being themselves. Left-handed people love me.
Listen, I hope you guys
as much as I think.
Have fun being yourselves. I don't want to know you either way.
Yes.
Okay? I don't want to know.
Okay, do you want to know why? I could tell them the backstory behind my left-handed hate. Okay?
Fuck it, okay.
Because in grade 6, the first boy that dumped me, pretty much like the only boy that dumped me, because I'm crazy, but the first boy that dumped me was Mike McCarthy, and this was in Peterborough at Armour Heights Public School, so if he's paying attention, this was him. We were in grade 6, and he wrote me a poem on Valentine's Day that said, "Roses are red, violets are blue, garbage is dumped, and so are you." Okay? Now...
That's so mean.
But this guy,
it's so mean.
I know. And then he tried to take me back that day. I bought him like a bag of kisses, like chocolate kisses and shit, because I delivered newspapers and babysat for those fuckers.
Oh, that's
and I
so
bought him.
bad.
But anyways, this guy was left-handed and he played lacrosse and he used to eat a lot of ketchup and he drank a lot of Coca-Cola out of the can. He was just sloppy and he wrote like this. And I hated him. So I hate Valentine's Day, and I hate left-handed people. And men. No, I love men. I love you guys. But yeah.
I'm still laughing at the poem.
Roses are red, violets are blue, garbage is dumped, and so are you. I've never forgotten that. That's how traumatized.
That is from a time before the internet, okay? That kid had to be creative as fuck. Would you say his name was Mike McCarthy? No. Mike McCarthy must have a big old dick. That's what I'm saying, okay?
No, it wasn't Mike McCarthy's poem, though. It was this blonde-haired bitch named Erin who had, like, long ponytail hair, and she was, like, one of those, like, and, like, she rode horses and shit like that. So it was her poem that she wrote to get him to break up with me. And then he took it back by the end of the day and wanted to, because we were like each other's first kiss, and he had an asthma attack and a nosebleed during our first kiss. Mike McCarthy, that happened. I'm calling you out on your shit.
Well, guys, this went from being friendly to being quite hostile. It's very exciting. I think we have an opportunity to really make things shine for people.
I feel better.
It's about, picking up community where we can find it and just making sure that everyone feels included. Sometimes by name.
Guys.
And that can be fun. That's something that we can do.
I hope you're happily married with a fat wife who doesn't give blowjobs.
Oh, God. So, we'll expect your comments on this video later. Feel free to mention any one of the stories that we've heard today on what makes you feel like you're loved. How about that? It's...
Dino, what makes you feel like you're loved? Let's take it to a positive note.
Yeah. Let's try and make it positive. Let's say something, because we're almost we still have some time here.
Do you like candy? Is that what makes it? Because candy does it for me. They bring fun dip, and I'm fun in. I'm damn.
Don't give away all your secrets, Crystal. Okay, you gotta make the men work for it. This is the key. They have to work for it. They got to pay.
Fun dip is not easy to find.
Okay. You know what? It's that's just life, isn't it? Though it's just you just kind of.
Isn't it? You're gonna laugh about it.
Oh, why not? Listen. What's the point of being mad at things? Like,
you can't.
It's just such a waste of time.
It's the dead leaf on the pot plant, people. You just gotta pick the shit off, throw it away, cry about it before you go to sleep, and get on with your life. Like the rest of us.
Yeah, makes sense to me. That's very work. After all is said and done, see, it's very peculiar in general what happens on a daily basis. You know, it's. I find it very interesting that this is. Everyone's complaining right now. I think this is a great opportunity for change and growth on so many levels. You know, having free time and being able to just I don't know. Things are getting very weird. I'm pretty sure my edibles just kicked in. So
let's take them for a ride, everybody.
That's a bad idea. I'll tell you that right now.
Remember the movie Meet the Parents? And he's like, where did the Puff the Magic Dragon come from? Where do you think it came from, Greg? What does that mean? Can you milk a cat? Can you milk me? I've got nipples.
That is definitely not what we were planning on talking about. I'll tell you that much.
I don't think we had a plan. Oh, it was that video I sent you.
Oh, the horror show that is Dave.
Dave. Let's see what I need a new. It's because I'm getting like this weird. I'm running out of weird conspiracies to go down. Like, I want something that's going to weird me out because everything just keeps weirding me out because it becomes true. I'm like...
I'll send you a link to that story. It's broken up into 7 parts. It's actually really cool, the one that I'm listening to right now. That'll get you... Because it's very, freaky deaky, but it's cool. So...
I like the freaky deaky shit because I was thinking about dipping back down into my Area 51 thing because I left that for a minute.
Area 51 is a waste of time, okay?
Well, now it is because they closed everything down because everybody knows about it.
No. You have to look up Bob Lazar, okay?
Oh, I know. I've already watched him.
And
huge.
Have you watched Unacknowledged?
I watched him and Joe Rogan, and I watched him come back on Joe Rogan. So I watched him on Joe Rogan.
So there's actually...
Because I used to want to fuck Joe Rogan until, I realized that he was such a health nut and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I like to eat candy and I'm lazy.
That is the best Tinder profile I've ever heard. I like to eat candy and be lazy.
Well, I'm not lazy. Hey. I like to play outside, but I don't want to work out. Like, if we're working out, we're doing it or something. I don't want to, go pump iron. Who wants to go pump iron?
Realistically, he's like Action Man. Like, he's just Mr. Adventure, right? He is. The best part is, I find him to be a very great interviewer. He actually just really does a great job.
Oh, he is. I watch every single podcast, and I think he's got a big, huge cock. Because he's a short guy and he's confident.
Apparently, that's the new criteria, people. Guys. If you have those two things, you got a big cock. Good for you.
It's short guys. They're always built like tripods.
Speaking of Kevin Tamara.
Kevin Tamara. No, we can't make jokes like that.
Alrighty. You know what? I think we will say, should we call it a day?
No, because I've got some shit for you.
What?
There was something that I thought of today. No. And you know how I was talking about moving into a tree house?
Yes.
Well, today I went up to Roseneath because I had to go get me some marijuana.
Yes.
So the Roseneath dispensary for people, it's open and they're very COVID safe and they're taking care of people. So you guys can go up there.
Nice.
There's a bunch of dispensaries on that reservation. So a little shout out for them. But anyway, so I'm driving up there and there's all these beautiful hills, right? Of like just big open bush. Would it be so horrible for me to move into the bush? Like,
yeah, it would be horrible.
By winter time, I could have a nice setup ready for winter. I watched it on YouTube, these people that survive in the bush. I talk to myself all the time anyways. I'm thinking it could happen, Dino. You're the one that made me technical.
You're knucking futz.
I could go to the Tim Hortons and tape our podcast.
That is a horrible idea. And I'll tell you what, listen, you know what the worst part is? If you were to see me, you'd say, that guy lives in the bush, okay? And the fact is, could I? Yes, I do have. I have certain know-how that I would be okay.
You don't look like you live in the bush. What makes you think you look like because you're hairy?
No. But would I ever live in the bush? No, that's ridiculous. Now you see Crystal,
why not?
And of course Crystal is like, oh no, that girl. You know what? She's 5-star lifestyle. Yeah. What? She's like, I want to move into the woods. You're like, what the fuck?
I do.
Are you crazy?
I do. I've lived in the bush for a month. Like, I've stayed out there for a month. And that was crazy. Yeah.
That place must have smelled like shit.
No, you go and you dig yourself a hole and then you put dirt over it and stuff every time you go.
It would still smell like shit.
No, it doesn't.
Lies.
It doesn't. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. And you don't deal with people getting mad at you for saying Karen. Oh my God, Dino, I get so scared that I'm a Karen. And I don't live 5-star lifestyles. Look at me. I'm white trash to hell. I'm skinny and covered in tattoos. And my name is Crystal. 5-star lifestyle. I'm like a 5-star by the airport.
That's not nice. That's not. Listen here, Missy. Okay.
I'm 5-star.
Listen here, young lady. Listen, young lady. Okay. You need to remain positive, okay? That's actually.
I am totally positive.
I am implementing.
I embrace my white trashness.
I am implementing this rule, okay? I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear you say stuff like, "Oh, I'm stupid" or "I'm an idiot." Okay? Just because those two words. That. No, but you know what though? Sometimes it's a slip of the tongue, and the problem is that those two words I've found have been some of the most impactful on people in general. And I actually, that's
true.
Certain words that it's like, listen, I don't have a problem calling somebody a cunt, okay? But when I
love it.
But if I call you
you're a tad bit cunty.
Right. But if I call you an idiot, I fucking hate you. Yeah. I fucking hate your ass. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And that's why.
Oh yeah, me too. If I start to get sarcastic with you, but in like a mean kind of way, because I'm like that, and that's been my downfall in relationships. So this will be like Crystal's dating. I'll tell men, what my downfalls are in relationships, and then hopefully they'll be like, okay, I can deal with that. If I get mad, I get sarcastic because I'm kind of fun. Like I want to be funny, and I'm like, oh. Look at you, kind of big boy. And I don't want to get mad.
No, well, getting mad is a waste of time, right? It's just...
Right, it's such a waste of energy for what? What does it fucking solve? Like, honestly, I just said fucking, like I'm getting mad.
Yeah.
Fudgicles.
Well...
Fudgicles, Dino.
See, well...
I've got some fudgicles.
I'm thinking that the message for today...
Pudding pops.
It's not pudding pops. It's definitely not pudding pops. Okay. This is a Jello pudding household. No, it's
Oh, he took it. He took it there. I like it.
So no, but you know what, guys? We're all going through some of the weirdest things we've ever experienced. Never before to have been experienced, and hopefully never again. No. But take the time to enjoy what's happening here. We don't get the opportunity for that mythical me time ever. and now we have it in droves. It's overflowing, and we don't know what to do with it, right? So take the time.
So we're getting mad for no reason.
Exactly. Just kind of figure out where we're trying to go and what we're trying to do, and from that point, then we can actually, make some progress. Become a better you. That's what I think the best part about this is. Just become a better you, because
eat some black licorice.
That's disgusting. That is disgusting.
What?
Absolutely horrible. Anyways, well,
Dino, do not be racist towards licorice.
That's not even. It's not a race. That's horrible. Anyways, Crystal, where can everyone find you?
Everyone can find me at Twitter and Instagram, and on YouTube, simply just me, Crystal Morency.
Excellent. And I am at Dino the Genetic Marvel on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and we're going to be posting this on Morning Motivational Rant and be putting it on to everything else. So have a great night, guys, and we'll see you soon.